Charlamagne donkey of the day.
There's a bunch of donkeys out here in the street.
That is why Charlamagne is here.
If we live a life where we bite our tongue based off who we may offend, we never would say anything.
You don't give a damn, don't throw it up. Hey! Give it to him. Give it to him.
On the Breakfast Club.
In the words of Charlamagne the God, he's a donkey. That was hard.
Oh man, Charlamagne, you giving donkey of the day to who now?
Well, Busta Rhymes, donkey of the day for Friday, August 15th goes to Little Yachty. Now, you know on Fridays, I like to open up the phone line so that people can give folks the credit they deserve for being stupid, unless something is on my spirit. And today, something is on my spirit, okay? I was minding other people's business on social media last night, and I saw that Little Yachty was receiving some backlash after appearing on a live stream with Plaque Boy Max. Now, I don't pay attention to backlash, okay? Outrage on the internet, because y'all always fake mad about something online, all right? The fuel that keeps the internet going is anger. That's why you have individuals who make a living rage baiting, okay? Rage baiting you digital D-heads, because they know the fastest way to garner engagement is to say something to make you mad. So I listened to what everyone was upset about, and it was the first time in a while where I was like, oh, this is valid outrage, okay? I completely understand why folks is upset. See, Little Yachty previewed a new song, and in that song, he had a lyric about the late George Floyd. Let's listen to the bar.
Wait for it, wait for it. I tell you, I'm finna go break the bank for it. Put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd. I be tweaking and she gon' wait for me.
Play it one more time, please.
Wait for it, wait for it. I tell you, I'm finna go break the bank for it. Put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd. I be tweaking and she gon' wait for me.
Put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd. Yachty, how you put a hole in your own boat? Okay, are you trying to sink the boat and drown? Like, damn. No black solidarity. Is anything sacred? When we talk like that about situations like George Floyd, we make others comfortable to do it, and then we get mad when others disrespect us. I'm all for freedom of speech, okay? I don't have to agree with what you said, but I agree with your right to say it. But you know what else is free? Shutting the F up. Okay. See, I talk for a living. Have I always gotten it right? Absolutely not. But it's just some things you should know not to say. Okay, you should know not to play with somebody's loved one who the world watched die. Okay, Yachty, you are 27 years old, and you are not a stupid young man. In fact, you are very bright, okay? I've watched you in interviews. I've watched you conduct interviews. I've always thought that you had an empathy about you because of how you have been attacked in this culture called hip-hop, okay? People used to label you as the poster child for whack rappers, all right? Some still do. Was that fair? Probably not, but that's what it was, okay? I've seen you have empathy for Drake when Kendrick was busting his ass last year. So I ask a simple question. Would you write a bar about Kendrick mollywopping Drake in their lyrical battle? Of course you wouldn't, because that's your man. You wouldn't want to hurt his feelings or his team's feelings. I got a better one for you. Would you write a bar about the tragic, senseless murder of the late, great Takeoff? Of course you wouldn't, because you would have empathy for him and how he went out, okay? You would have empathy for his team and family. So why wouldn't you give George Floyd that same respect? Why disrespect that brother's family and friends like that? You said, put my knee up on her neck, I went George Floyd. So you decided to channel that racist-ass, cracker, Derek the Devil Chauvin, who killed George Floyd, okay? You watched that video that the world saw. The world saw Derek the Devil Chauvin kneeling on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Watch that man take his last breath, calling for his mother. And you at the big age of 27 decided, you know what? I'm gonna put that in a bar. Even if your brain thinks it, immediately something gotta say, nah, that ain't it, okay? And no engineer, nobody in the studio said, nigga, no, what are you doing? Okay, this is why you can't have a bunch of yes men around you. You gotta have somebody around to simply tell you no, and hell no, and F no. And I know folks is out there, but Charlamagne, you believe in freedom of speech? I do, but you are not free from the consequences of said speech. You can say what you want about anybody and anything, but you have to deal with what comes with that, because there is a cost to everything that comes out of your mouth. And before you speak, you should always ask yourself, am I willing to pay this price? Now, Steven Jackson from the All the Smoke podcast, dropping the clues bombs for the All the Smoke podcast. You already know he's stepping about George Floyd every time.
As he should.
Every time, okay? He replied to Lil Yachty yesterday, and he had this to say. Let's listen.
And I'm just trying not to pay attention to you idiots, man, but, like, it's just hard, bro. Like, Lil Yachty, bro. You've been whacked, man. But you think you saying George Floyd's name and trying to use his name in the bar that's gonna make people like your whack ass music, my that weak. Y'all the only era that feel like demeaning the dead and saying that cool, my it ain't. And it's me and the whole Third Ward and the whole Houston, Texas riding behind G, man. Don't ever say his name, bro. Y'all, none of y'all knew G. Nothing about him. But y'all want to say his name for clout. Put a knee up on I do joke. That's some weak ass Yachty. But let somebody die in your family. We gonna do a whole skit about it and see how funny it is, bro. Cut that man. It's only you whack Sambo that do like that.
The only era that feel like demeaning the dead is okay. That is a very valid point. Lil Yachty, whether you realize it or not, everybody who knew George Floyd and loved George Floyd feels exactly like Steven Jackson does this morning. That line was corny. Okay, it was very coonish. All right, George Floyd got murdered, knee to the neck from Derek Chauvin, and you turned his death into a corny-ass rap bar. Okay, the bar don't even make no sense. You put your knee up on her neck, you and George Floyd. What you saying, you want to kill her? If you don't think you upset George Floyd's family, well, Loren LoRosa got a statement from George Floyd's brother. Loren, would you like to share what George Floyd's brother told you?
Yes. Terrence Floyd said to me he wants the lyric changed. He says, let his brother rest in peace. It has disturbed his family. People were sending him the clip all yesterday, so he had to listen to it, and it disturbed him a lot. He says it's super inconsiderate. Terrence Floyd also said to us that this generation doesn't pay attention to what they say. They just want to make a song and get it on the charts, and they feel like because of who they are, people will listen and accept it, and that's not right. It's super inconsiderate. You should think about what you're writing and make it make sense because it impacts other people. He also has a message for Lil Yachty. He says, you know, if you're going to talk about George Floyd, let there be a better message behind George Floyd's name so that his legacy can live beyond the tragedy that Chauvin caused.
The best way to not have your peace disturbed is to not disturb the peace of others. Little Yachty, and to everyone who can hear my voice, please remember the simple golden rule we learned in grade school. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Okay, Yachty, you want respect, you got to give it. And the root of respect is not the full understanding of other people. It is the recognition of people's non-negotiable humanity. Please give Lil Yachty the biggest hee-haw.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey
And
today,
the
sir.
line was whack.
Very.
It's stupid.
It's just a whack line. That doesn't make any sense.
It's dumb, yo.
All right.
But you know, today, switching gears, is the it would be the 40th born day
That's right.
of the late great Nipsey Hussle.
That's right. And
Okay.
it's only right. Nipsey Hussle's been up here a couple of times, and it's only right to get back his interview.
Let's get
that back
I
on.
feel like we should celebrate Nipsey every opportunity we get, and today is his born day. Today he would have been 40 years old today.
That's right.
Okay.
And we're going to get that interview back on when we come back, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey of the Day is sponsored by renowned personal injury attorney Michael the Bull Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey when you need a fighter on your side. If you're ever injured, go to michaelthebull.com. That's michaelthebull.com. And when you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Hold up.
Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?